So if we're correct today, the Pac-12 is out of the playoff. That means Tennessee gonna try to sneak in.
No, that doesn't mean the Pac-12 is out, because if
it is.
It is.
Yep.
If
I think
UCLA,
Tennessee gets in either way. I think
if
the
you
loser of Ohio and Michigan is out.
No, I'm gonna go better. I'm gonna go better, sir. I think if TCU somehow shits the bed and lose today, I think that's gonna open up for Tennessee. It takes one loss for the Big 12. I think it takes one loss for them to get them put out.
Well,
and I think Tennessee jumps up over them.
50% chance to make college football play.
All right, let me say this then. So let's assume Tennessee or TCU drops one, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say Ohio State beats Michigan. So you got undefeated Ohio State, one loss Michigan, and you got Clemson with one loss with an ACC title. You got to leave one of those three out: Clemson, Michigan, or Ohio State, because you're going to have Tennessee, Georgia, and then Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
So you either put Michigan in with one loss, you put Tennessee with one loss, or Clemson with one loss.
I'm putting Tennessee in. I'm throwing Tennessee in now.
Ooh, that's a crazy scenario, man.
It is though.
All that's got to happen is TCU lose one, and everybody else went out like they're supposed to. That's all that's got to happen.
But realistically, let's say a realistic possibility is that TCU is probably going to lose. Ohio State or Michigan is probably going to lose. Georgia, to me, is the only sure bet in the top four right now. With
the loss, I think Georgia stays in.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Georgia stays at number one regardless. I think that's does anybody disagree with that? That number one, Georgia's going to stay number one throughout.
They're not going to stay number one, but they probably won't stay number one, but they'll stay in the playoff. They'll stay in the playoff scenario. They'll stay.
But that's true, because Ohio State, Michigan is going to determine the number one team. Because that'll have the strongest win of the season. But the guarantee is that Georgia's going to be in the top four.
Yeah. That's guaranteed. With a loss. That's guaranteed.
So if Ohio State or Michigan loses and they drop out, and TCU most likely can lose, that leaves either Michigan or Ohio State, and there goes your two teams. Tennessee's going to find themselves back in the top four. So now you're going to have Georgia, Tennessee, either Ohio State or Michigan. And then who's the fourth team? Assuming that USC loses today, like we said, LSU and Alabama. Let's say USC loses, and where does Utah find themselves?
I think it's Clemson. I think the committee will put Clemson in.
Wow. So Tennessee, Clemson, Georgia, and either Ohio State or Michigan.
I think that's what they'd probably do.
My goodness.
Yep. Because it's going to come down to, it's going to be crazy, man. If TCU's to drop today, it's going to be crazy.
It'll be better if they don't drop. I'm a TCU fan for now.
I like TCU. One of my guys that I actually coached growing up, he played for TCU. He a linebacker, number 19.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep, I actually coached him.
All right, let's get through these games right here, because I know the games have started. Oregon and Utah. What are we picking, Coach? We'll start off with you.
I'm going with Utah, man. I'm going with Utah. I don't know how Bo Nix is going to respond after the injury, especially if he doesn't. I think he's going to gut it out. We all think he's going to gut it out. But I think that running game, they're going to control the running game. Utah's going to control the running game with Thomas a lot. And they got two top-notch tight ends, man. Dalton Kincaid, and they got Kofi as well. And they also got another wide receiver over there on the edge. He's kind of big time as well. But I say they got the best secondary, but they're not a great defensive team also. So this is another game that can be a track me. Why you got the two running backs that we watched last night, Noah Whittington and Irving from Oregon. They run a lot of bubble screens too. I don't think that pretty much will work on that type of secondary that they got. I think that secondary is more smarter than Washington's secondary. Is going to be more on alert for that. But it's going to be kind of a high scoring game too. I think this game could turn, another Pac-12 game can turn into a trap meet. But I got Cam Rising and the and the Utah Utes. I think turnover battle is going to be important in this game too. I think the turnover battle is going to be important. Whoever can force the most turnovers in this game, I think that's who wins this game. And I'm going with Utah to win this game in a close fight. I'm going Utah 30. I'm going Utah 33-28. Utah.
Fishing.
I agree with everything, mainly because the Bo Nix thing. If Bo Nix was healthy, I would probably pick Oregon, but it's at Utah. So, yeah, I think the tight ends are a mismatch. I've said that many times, but both of those tight ends are mismatches. And, Tavion Thomas in the run game, we're talking about how Oregon's defense is so bad. I think that's really what's going to make them lose, and Bo Nix not being 100%. So I got Utah.
All right, Soar. Your mic's muted, by the way.
Sorry. I told myself after I picked BYU to beat Oregon that I would never pick against Oregon again. This is a dilemma I'm having. This is what keeps me up at night. Give me the Ducks.
Give you the
Taking
Ducks.
the Ducks.
The Ducks. Bo Nix may not have a working ankle, but darn it, he gonna find a way. That man's gonna win the Heisman, I promise.
You know what, man? Like,
Duck go quack.
as much as I want the scenario to work out and Utah find themselves in, what I saw last night was incredible by their running committee, man. They don't play defense. If they could just play a little bit of defense tonight, Utah can win. I'm going with the Ducks too, man. I'm going with Oregon. I'm telling you, I'm going with my gut, and my gut is telling me to go with Oregon. Logically, I want to go with Utah. I like that team so bad, but this is what Utah does. They find themselves every single year in the top 10, and they lose a game that they're not supposed to lose. Them and Iowa are almost the exact carbon copy of each other. They find themselves in the top 15 and top 10 every single year, except Iowa sucks this year, by the way. But they just this is the trap game right here for them. Even though it's not a trap game, this is where they get trapped automatically.